I forgot he had to get the recording started first. So welcome everybody on Saturday morning. Anthony, if you'll share the screen, we're going to start immediately on some announcements. We're getting a couple minutes late to start. Coach Palmer sporting his swag hat. I hadn't got one of those yet. Looking good. So guys, there's so many things happening with the company. I mean, listen, each Saturday we always think about what we're going to talk about, what we're going to talk about, what do we need to do to help our teams get the right information. And there are so many things happening right now. It's really hard to determine what was the right topic to have this morning. We do have a guest. We're going to talk a little bit about product, but I want to talk about some events that are coming up. And actually one I'm doing here, March 18th on a Saturday. This is just a super Saturday. I mean, this is not something to come into and spend 3 days. I don't get the wrong impression. We're happy to have you for 3 days, but the event's just going to be for about 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday. And we're going to do some training on tools and tips. We've got some great people that are going to come in from out of town. We also have our locals. My daughter, Kristen, will be there to talk about, she's obviously a product guru and she's into training, but also Jen Stencil. For those that don't know who Jen is, she owns a juice bar and she literally green juices and makes it every single day. Her knowledge of our products, and she sells them. She's been on here before talking about what it's doing and what she's doing with her clients. Absolutely amazing what she's accomplished. But we've also got people coming in from out of town. I don't want to miss anybody, but I know that Jerry and Allison Wyndham are going to speak. I know that Sonia's going to speak, and we got Ernest is going to come in. We're going to talk. We're just going to be here to help socialize, the community. That's what I want to call this, the community that we build. And obviously, folks from way off are not going to make it to this event. So this is just a Saturday. But if you're within a couple hours driving, Coach Palmer's going to be here. We talked him into it. I don't know who all we might talk into coming with him, but right now we know he's going to bring a group in from Alabama. So guys, I don't know how to explain what this business does to everybody, but it's more than just learning. For me at least anyway, it becomes the community. And these events really build your community. And with that, just mark that down. It's on the Hilton Garden on Van Drive. Ken Bailey, I'm going to turn this to you because you have an event coming up. So I don't know what else we can say about Deanna. I mean, I can't compete with that one, obviously.
Yeah, the very next week then, Chris, that's 3 weeks from today, will be March 25th in Thomasville, North Carolina. And to get Deanna coming all the way from California, Chris, Brent, you know what a big deal that is. She's in demand around the world. One of the best speakers you've ever heard, one of the most knowledgeable people on nutrition. She's our chief product officer. So her, Dr. Strand, and others are who's behind the scenes making sure we have these products. So it will be a product-based event where yours will probably be mixture of products and business. This will be almost strictly product. But what we found over the years, Chris, when we have Deanna or Dr. Strand come in and talk about products, the product sales just go crazy after that. Once people get, like, she's going to focus a lot on Renew. I can promise you Renew sales will skyrocket for anybody that's in this event. So get here with your team. It's a free event. Corporate helped a little, but Steve Teglis actually bought the venue that we're meeting in. Got a ballroom that seats over 500 people. Pretty crazy deal there, but we're blessed to have that available to us. So anybody within a few hour drive should be here. And if you got questions, let me know.
One thing
Also, I will add too, Chris, not only is it a free event, but we're having a swag bag there with some different products and items in it. And some of the giveaways we have lined up are pretty amazing. So be a great day.
Yeah, I should have said we were going to have those as well the Saturday before. But one thing I want to tell you about this event is that if there's an area that will give you confidence in our products, Deanna not only will do that, and nothing against Deanna speaking, she's unbelievable. But I will tell you something, when you get the people on Steve Teglis' team showing what's happened to them and listen to there is no area, because there's so much concentration of so many people and what's happened to their bodies and their health. It's absolutely amazing listening to the testimonials you'll get from that area and what they're using. You'll learn so much. If you're a couple of hours or 3 hours away, you need to figure out if you drive that. I've been over there a couple of times to Ken's events, and I flew all the way from Memphis, Tennessee to get to it. So, and last, what I'm going to call the big event, the major event, the thing that we have. I was looking back at some pictures, Coach Palmer, and just at how much fun we had last year, even though we did catch Steve Teglis' hair on fire. I don't know that was what we call fun. I still think it was like the Michael Jackson thing. It was like all at once we had Steve Teglis was Michael Jackson, his hair caught on fire. And I thought it was a joke until I went and saw Steve. I'm like, oh my gosh, it really did happen. I thought people were just making it up. And that's where I actually met Ernest Starks. The first time I talk about relationships, the first time I met Ernest was at this event. So Brent, I know that, you guys have worked so hard, and I know Andrea worked so much behind the scenes on this and actually rolling, but I want you to talk about the Destin event. Is this our 4th annual?
Yeah, this is it's crazy. It's the 4th annual. Before I do talk about Destin, let me say this about Jackson in North Carolina. I just got a text message, Chris, on Jackson, Mississippi. Cynthia Bolden's coming up actually from Oxford, Mississippi. Cynthia has had, I don't know, close to 30 years running her own health company in Oxford, Mississippi. And she is running with Renew. And so, Chris, I just sent you a text, but I know you're like, okay, we'll be putting her up in front of the crowd probably a little bit on that Saturday with her being there.
Oh yeah, I didn't know she was coming. That's absolutely great. And you said Jackson, Mississippi. We mean Jackson, Tennessee.
I mean Jackson, Tennessee. Yeah, Jackson, Tennessee.
She's coming from Mississippi, but it's Jackson, Tennessee, where we're having the event. Go ahead.
And also going to the 25th of March, I mean, in North Carolina, guys, one of the things when we came over and became a part of this partner company, residual income, if you really look at it, you got to have products that people will get on, stay on, and when they run out, when this thing runs out, without you having to sell them again, they'll go reorder. Now, maybe in the chats, put how many of you do not need Ken Bailey, myself, or Chris Doyle to call you to reorder your products that you love in this company? Like you need no motivation. We all take them. We're all a product of the product. We're all drinking different, maybe Moa, maybe Limu, maybe Tahitian Noni, Renew, like all our optimals. Guys, like, here's where I'll tell you March 25th is. It's worth the drive. That if you've never been able to get into a room to realize what you have your hands on product wise that will keep people on a residual ordering process, that's why we have the best products in the world in our industry. It's incredible. So March 25th, get to anywhere close to North Carolina, get there. This is a don't miss event. And then Destin, Florida, Chris, you said it, 4th annual. I got to tell you, we it's just one of those events. How many of you's made it to a Saturday night party after the event's over? That last year we did almost catch Steve Teglis on fire. Luckily, Ken Bailey jumped on him. We got his hair put out, but I'm just kidding.
True story.
But here's the thing. It's an unbelievable event. We talk about the party, we talk about the fellowship, because that's a huge part of this industry. Like it's communion, it's getting together with people, it's understanding who you're doing business with, but also life with. I say it all the time. We got the best people in this company, like the best people to associate with, the best people to live life with. You guys have become like just unbelievable family and friends to me. And so Destin, Chris, we have sold more tickets to the event at this point than we have in the previous 3 different events we've had in Destin. I'm excited because I go to Destin a lot. And when you can book it in April, you're going to get the most beautiful time of the year. Weather-wise, it's going to be warm. It's going to be super nice. Thursday, we're going to have a day out on the beach after training. But John Wadsworth spoke the other day to the company. John Wadsworth, if you're new, he's one of our owners. And he spoke and he said, I'm so excited to be in Destin, Florida with Darren Zobrist, the other owner of our company. Guys, you got 2 owners that are coming to Destin, Florida, not just to come and take pictures. You're gonna hear Darren Zobrist's story and why he saw a need to buy this company and what he wants to make out of it for the years and years and years to come. But you're also going to hear from John Wadsworth on the power of building a network marketing business, because he's done it. Like he's been there, just like us as distributors, growing a business. And once he spoke the other day, Chris, you know, there was a huge push in sales, in people getting into the room. And so I'm just going to tell you, like, if you want a hotel, we have filled up the block rooms twice. They just opened up a new block room and it's almost sold out. If you want your hotel for this event, you need to get it this week. Okay. Don't just assume it's going to be there. If you want it, at least at the host site, we'll put this information in the chats where you can get registered. But I'll tell you, the Thursday, the Friday training, the Thursday mastermind, you know, the dolphin cruises, everything we got lined up, like literally we're 70% capacity. And it's not, we just started March. We're 70% capacity at this point. So don't sit around, get it in the system. Make sure that you're registered. And we're gonna have more executives coming to the table over the next few weeks, announcing they're going to be there, announcing what's going to go on. And I'll tell you, recognition, you're going to see it all over the room. We've got things coming for you to give you so that you can walk away knowing that we value your partnership. And I mean, the dolphin cruise is going to be spectacular. I can't wait to do that. Like we just have a blast. So at the end of the day, make sure you're there. Oh, and the swag. We're going to have swag there for you, okay, at the event. So we've got an unbelievable brand. If you want to know how cool your brand is, when 20-year-olds are wanting your brand and they don't even know what the brand represents, you know you got something special. Okay. And that's the case. My son's already stole 2 or 3 hats from me. So it's going to be an exciting time. Get your tickets to Destin.
Absolutely. I want to reiterate what Brent said. You realize both owners, I mean, the real main owners, I mean, Darren and John are both coming to this event. I don't know that we've ever had an event where we've had in Destin. We've had corporate executives show up some. We've had some come in for a day. These guys are, and obviously people are always asking me, what's your opinion of these guys? What do you think? Well, let me tell you something. Quit asking my opinion. Get to Destin, meet them yourself, talk to them yourself, just like I did. And you will feel confident as I do that we have something special really happening.
And Chris, you just made me think, and I'll turn it back to Ken. We got people crossing the border. I mean, we got our Canadian family and friends. They're coming across for this event. If you're in Canada and you're coming to the event, maybe put it in the chat so everybody can see where you're coming from. So please, in the US, don't tell me it's too far to come. Like, we got people coming from other parts of the world to get here. Guys, this is one of these moments. We're going to talk more about why it's special, a special moment in time. It really, truly is. So Ken, I'll turn it. I know you had something to add.
Yeah, Brent, as I'm listening to you, y'all see me moving forward. I got to get a word. Guys, we say it all the time. We say leaders are born at events. What do we mean by that? You talk to the top 100 income earners with this company. I bet you 98, 99 out of 100 will say an event is what changed their life or what made them realize they could be successful here. Because as you listen to people, as you hear Darren and John, your confidence on this being a legacy company is going to come forth. As you meet a Ken Bailey or somebody that couldn't spell network marketing when I got started, you're like, well, Lord, if Ken could do this in a big way, so can I. And you're right. Okay. So we're not hyping this to help us. We're going to be there. It's going to sell out, Brent. It's for you. We know what it'll do to change your life and your belief level and what you can do here. So I think the question shouldn't be, are you going to be here? It's going to be how many of your teammates you can get here, or how many you can bring with you. I mean, I'd be bringing everybody I can on my team there because I know what that means. In fact, we did some studies, or somebody did some studies one time, Chris, for every person you get at a major event, I believe it's at least 100 new reps will join you in the next 6 months or something like that. That's the statistic. Think about that. Get 10 people there and 1,000 people is going to join you over the next year at least. So anyway, I just can't stress the importance of events, and especially an event like this with owners there.
Me and you could go back and forward just talk about this all day. You just made me think of something, and I'm going to use Alan White. He's on this Zoom right now. Alan White's building a team, just started out in Southern Tennessee. Big shout out to you, all the Southern Tennessee people. And here's a cool thing. Alan has the ability to get those new people to Destin. Now he's going to have to work it. He's going to have to try to figure out, promote the event, get them there, figure out a way to get them there. But imagine if Alan turned to his team and goes, hey guys, who do y'all know in Florida? Like who do y'all know around like the northern part of Florida? And then some of his team in Southern Tennessee is like, oh my gosh, my cousin lives down there. Lives close to it. And Alan then figures out a way to get his cousin to the event in Destin. Guys, when you get a guest to an event in Destin, they're going to enroll. They will not. How many of you had a guest at an event that enrolled? Put it in the chats. I know I have. Every time I get a guest to an event, we brought some guests to Jackson, Tennessee to Chris's event, Super Saturday. They enroll every time. Every time you get a guest. But you got to look at the business. Always look for leverage opportunity. So if you got a team growing in Tennessee and Southern Tennessee, Alan White, step up in front of the team and go, hey, Ed, who do you know in Northern Florida? Always be playing who do you know? Because odds are somebody's got somebody living down there that you can get over as a guest, show them a good time, they'll enroll in your business. And that is the art of network marketing.
Absolutely. And I will tell you this, Destin is a place where most people want to go anyway. If they live within a few hours, it ain't hard to get them talked into coming there because it is a beautiful place. With that all said, guys, we have so many things going on and we're going to talk a little bit more about later. But Brent, you started this the right way because you talked about having products that, and I actually, while you said that, I got to looking back. So Anthony, will you share the screen and show us Linda and Tommy, our guests this morning, will talk about. And I'm trying to figure out how long they've been using the product. So Linda, unmute yourself. I know I saw you join us. And I want to talk about Linda some because it's something she told me last night that people don't understand some things she's went through. So when her husband came to a meeting, didn't want to be there. He was coming to get James Cooper to quit begging him to come. He just wanted to get it over with. And then what he saw was some testimonials. She wasn't even there. She saw some testimonials. James came home and said, Tommy came home and told Linda she's going to try this. I don't think he gave her a choice, did he?
Not much.
But she's had a lot of health problems. She's type 2 diabetic, so we don't heal, treat, or diagnose. But I'm going to tell you something. If we can improve a person's life, if we can make things better, and even if they are reluctant, like Linda was. Linda, am I correct? It's been over 3 years, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, it
About 3
has.
years ago. So I want to show this picture, and I'm going to bring something up. She told me that someone told her they didn't like looking at this picture. Really upset me because I'm like, we're not showing this picture to try to make people realize how something bad can look. But when my daughter uses this picture, the first thing she says is, when you look at the foot on the left, I want you to realize this foot's not broken. This foot has got inflammation, lots of inflammation, caused from a variety of things. And Linda didn't really want to try, and everybody knows that her favorite product is probably going to be Moa. Why would it be Moa? So I want you to see what happened within 2 weeks of doing Moa. You can tell it's the same foot, the same carpet, but look at it. It's even the same rug. She couldn't believe it. I don't think anybody in our group could. Matter of fact, the people that the testimonial came from, her testimonial came better than the other one. It's like this, her story was even better. And she has never stopped using the product. Now, how long now? Over 3 years, right?
Over 3 years.
So the most important thing I want to
I
put
done
up,
mow it twice a day.
twice a day. The most important factor is that she didn't get told about 100 products that we got here. She got started on Moa. So got to keep it simple. And then Linda just had knee surgery. I'm going to show you. I know she gets irritated with me asking for pictures of all this progress that she's had. But Linda, I want you to talk about this part. So that you had to have a knee replacement. That wasn't anything that we could fix.
Yes, sir.
You didn't have enough. You had to have a knee replacement. And I want you to tell them about what the doctor said. Go ahead.
I had been bone on bone for 10 years fighting it. So I finally broke down because I couldn't move. I couldn't do nothing. I sat in a chair. Well, I started my mower back twice today, finale, Magna Cal D, and I done a ritual with Noni. Well, I started therapy the day after surgery. Within 1 week, I was at 100% movement. 5 days before my stitches was to come out, the skin had started growing over. They removed them. I went to the doctor last week and I walked in and he said, I am very impressed. No pain, no crutches, no nothing. He vitamins, a lot of minerals. You give your body what it needs and it will heal itself. Today I'm at 106% movement.
Let's add to this because let's hear, guys. There was someone you get to see all these other people in therapy, and you got people your same age, and you have people younger than you. Why don't you tell me what you said? Tell me about yesterday. How they're so amazed how far you ahead of the other people.
Well, I had a friend. Her mother had surgery the same day I did. 2 hours after mine, same surgery. She's still on a walker. Yesterday, they introduced me to weights. They've increased me to almost 10 minutes on a bike. And I'm up moving. Yes, I still hurt, but I can move.
I'm trying to look at the difference. And now here's what's funny. The therapists are all asking Tommy and Linda, so what has he done? He's now been sending out PDFs because he's seeing all these other things. And they didn't mention, but they also been drinking Renew as well. She left that one out, but the regimen that helped her heal. And so when you think about people, I love making money here. So I don't want to ever tell you because I get picked at a lot because I'm always talking about the money. But I'm going to tell you something. When you get someone whose stories are like Tommy and Linda, it makes my heart warm. It makes me feel good that I've done more than just made some money because they are using a product. It makes me feel good that I know that not only are they buying something, they're loving it. I don't, like Brent said, I don't have to call Tommy and Linda and say, make sure you get your mower this month. They ain't forgetting their mower. They're not forgetting anything that they love. And the last thing I want to tell you is that, see, we talk about Linda's story. And again, we don't heal, treat, or diagnose anything. All we do is help people's body get the proper things involved in it that makes a difference. Tommy, we're going to highlight.
Chris.
Yes.
One more thing.
Okay.
If you look at that last one, one of my biggest fears was I have keloid scarring. It's where it knots up on top of the skin and it never goes flat. If you'll notice how flat that is.
Hey,
that's very unusual.
The last picture. And obviously that is important. Not having, you can tell how much there's not, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's just in a few weeks. You give it another 3. We're going to come back and get a report and have another picture of this in about 3 more months because it ain't going to take a long before that. You're going to be amazed at how much difference it's made. You guys realize this was done last month. This was done in February.
February the 6th.
Yeah, think about that, guys. Is that not amazing? I mean, now we know that she's just the body's healing itself. So I don't want to give the wrong impression. This product just gave her the things it needed to do that. And Tommy has dealt with things for so long. Tommy how long have you been having? I want you to tell 2 stories, Tommy. I didn't tell you this yesterday, but Tommy had I'm going to let you start with the other before we start with your heart problem. I want you to tell people about your motorcycle wreck and what Renew did for that, because that's you've told that story at a meeting and it's kind of been I didn't even know about the motorcycle wreck when you had when you were younger. So why don't you talk about that? We don't have pictures on this one, obviously, because this was a couple of years ago, right, Tommy?
Yeah, several years ago. Yeah, 1974, I had a motorcycle wreck. I was riding behind somebody and he lost it, and I ended up hitting the side of a building and hit the gutter pipe, and it cut my knee all up and broke my leg at the femur and everything. But ever since then, I've had 2 numb spots from my I broke my femur way up by my hip, all the way down to the knee on my left leg. Both legs had the same numb spot because I laid in that body cast for 4 months and couldn't move. And and all the doctors since then till now, it's nerve damage. Never get over it. But over the years, standing on concrete and just working on one place, my legs would go numb on me. My back would start hurting. I'd have to sit down for 10, 15 minutes and I could go again. Well, since I've been on this Renew, most of that has went away. It hadn't completely went away, but I can stand now sometimes 3-4 hours at a time without my legs and back hurting. So that's a big plus, because it used to be about 30-45 minutes.
And of course, you take the review every day, and you're not going to back off of that because you're seeing such. So here's what I want to point out, and Coach Palmer, Ken, if y'all want to add something, guys, they started on it, and this is what the main thing is for this training purpose here. Sometimes we think we need to be a doctor, and we need to figure out what's wrong with them. And I'm not telling you not to ask people where they're hurting, but Tommy, tell them about your heart problem. I didn't even know about this. You came and got Linda on the mower, and you didn't even think about any products that are going to help you, but you have a pacemaker. Tell them about that.
Yeah, when we got on the product, I was or when I came to the meeting, I was off work because I just had my 6th heart ablation, and then my heart wouldn't beat fast enough. They finally got me back in rhythm. I've been in flutter for 35 years, and they finally got me back in rhythm. My heart wouldn't beat fast enough, so I had to have a pacemaker put in, a pacemaker defibrillator. And doctor, and when we come to the meeting, I wasn't thinking about me because I was still under doctor's care, and I was trying to get my heart back in shape with the doctors. And but when I had this defibrillator put in, the doctor told me, he said, now it's going to take you 18 months to heal for that thing to get set into that muscle, and I guess it grows around it or whatever it happens to it. And I went back to him, I don't know, it was 6-7 months after I got it put in there, which I had to get pacemaker checks. I got a machine right beside my bed that checks it every day. And I went back to him in 7 months, and he kept filling around that pacemaker, and he kept going, And I didn't know if that was a good or a bad one. And he said, I don't know what you're doing, but that thing's already set in place in 7 months instead of 18 months. So, and that was just taking MOA. That's what I mainly take is MOA.
And you've added the omegas as well. Is that correct? Or you did that for a while or not?
Yeah. I take the Omega Q for the fish oil for my heart and everything. And it had never bothered my, I'm on a Hartley method too, to keep my heart, because I've got an enlarged heart muscle, and that keeps my heart straight. So, but the MOA, the Omega, everything I take don't bother my medicine. And as far as feeling good, I feel better than I have in years.
What did and I'm not know that this had any bearing on it, but I believe getting healthy makes a difference. What did the doctor tell you about the pacemaker yesterday or last week? You went back in to have your
Well, they set me on 80, and I was just supposed to be on there for like a couple of years to get my heart back, because it'd been out of rhythm so long and everything, and I went back in there, and I'm pacing too much. They said, you're doing something, we don't see this all the time, but you're pacing all the time. So they're slowing mine down. I got to go back Tuesday, and they slowed it from 80 to 70, and they're going to slow it to 60, which that just means your heart won't get no lower than that. But my heart is keeping a steady beat now in the 70 range where it's supposed to be.
Without the pacemaker.
Without the pacemaker making it pace.
That's what I wanted to point out.
Yeah. So I got to go back. I got to go back Tuesday afternoon, and I get slowed down 10 more beats. I get slowed down to 60 on the pacemaker to where my heart won't drop below 60. But my heart now is staying at its beat that it's supposed to on its own. So that's a big.
It is a big thing.
I think that's a big deal on mine.
So
Yeah.
Both of these folks have had major changes. And so I want you to realize something. And the reason I asked Anthony to put this picture back up, we talked about how important it is to be at events. That picture was made, and guess where? The Destin event. So I bring that up to your attention because again, events change things because you learn and they get the people get to talk to them. So you help other people, but you know what you also do? You pick up from other people. Yes, there'll be big events that you talk to, but there's nothing like being on that beach, talking to someone that's having success or having that off time on the dolphin cruise. All those things that you're going to be able to do one-on-one is hard to put a price tag on. Then the Tommy told me once they didn't ever want to be up in front of the room. Now I've already got them doing Zooms. They had to learn the Zooms to try to figure out how to get on Zoom. They didn't want to do this part, but you know what? They know what's happened to them has made such a dramatic difference. Tommy and Linda, thank you so much for your story. I hope all of y'all appreciate that because guys, sometimes and I'm guilty, I get so caught up. How much is my paycheck this week? I'll be the first to admit, as soon as I know it's coming to the bank, I'm gonna go see how big it is. It's been growing. This makes it really fun when you start seeing growth and it's not really anything you're doing different. But you know what? When you get people that call and tell you stories like Tommy told me this week about his heart and how the pacemaker is and how we didn't heal him. We just gave his body the things he needed to improve faster. And it's made all the difference in the world. Thank you guys for being on today. I kept this as more testimony. Yes, Ken, or you want to, or Brent?
Chris?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, congratulations to Tommy and Linda, and we appreciate them so much for being willing to come on here because this helps a lot of people to see what can happen. I do a reminder that we don't treat, diagnose, or cure. We don't cure the common cold. We do cure the common broke, by the way. We don't cure the common cold. It's the ingredients in the products, Chris. It's not MOA. It's all those 36 superfoods that the good Lord give us on the earth. So just amazing, amazing. And we appreciate you guys for being on here.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
want to add to it. Linda, Tommy, obviously I've talked to Tommy on the phone. I've met him at events. And Linda, you don't even know this. So I've been drinking Limu for over a decade, which is a vegetable. Somebody says, tell me the common sense what is Limu? It's a vegetable of the sea. Okay. So I've been drinking that for over a decade because I figure are you taking a vegetable of the sea? If not, then maybe Limu's your product. I actually came to an event and I heard Linda for the first time and I saw that picture, Chris. And I heard her testimony. If you want to know the power of a testimony, she just shared her story from the heart. And I'm sitting in the room and guess what? I'm not on MOA at the time. Hadn't taken MOA. And so I look at MOA, I look at what's in it and I go, it's not it's fruits, it's things in there that Limu does not have. And so I thought I'm going to add MOA to my diet. So ever since that day, Linda, I ordered MOA and I've been drinking 2 a day of MOA. I still drink my Limu. And I guess at 47 years old, what I realized is we all can afford in life what we want to afford. But one thing's for certain, we're going to get one life here on earth. So I want to afford myself as much time here as I possibly can. And Linda, I really believe you had an impact on me. I'm in better health today, right now, than I was the day that I saw you share your testimony. And it's because you were willing to share. And so I hope that maybe inspires us a little bit to go, please don't keep your testimony to yourself. Figure out an audience, figure out a person, love them enough to share it with them. You never know what it'll turn into.
True. Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, Chris, maybe there's people on here because I got a text just now that of a new person says, what is MOA? Just real quickly, it's 36 superfoods in a liquid pouch, folks. And by the way, those 36 ingredients, Chris, are in there in a clinical dose. We don't just sprinkle a little bit of a mushroom in there and say it's in there. In fact, there's 6 medicinal mushrooms in there. Just amazing, amazing results. So you need to check that out further. Even the preservative, talking about how clean it is. The preservative is created by our own company. It's called Natrix because there wasn't remember, it's real food, like Brent said. So we came up with the preservative. I think Deanna told me it took her a year and she blew up different boxes of MOA and everything, trying to come up with a natural preservative. She was able to do that. So even preservative is natural. And one quick thing, Linda, several of our Skincerity is our roll-on product. I've seen several of the ladies from Canada in particular were talking about how that would help the scarring. And that's a breathable, I
I
think it's
saw that.
the world's only breathable mask. It's called Skincerity. You may want to check that. There you go. Boy, Anthony's good. There's the 36 superfoods. You see matrix there, natural preservative.
One
There's
thing I
60
want to point out though, that I think we just hit that I want to really reiterate that that's probably one of the best questions anybody asks, what is MOA? Because they didn't get, guys, everybody's going to come to the table a little different. Brent's team, and I love him. He talked about MOA. I'm now drinking Limu. I'm thinking, I didn't need that Limu. I got all these other things. And I got to realize what all the Limu product had in it that these other things didn't have in it. And then my wife was recovering from the, whatever that was we had. I'm going to go ahead and say it, COVID. And Brent said, we've seen people really, make a difference in their recovery. It didn't keep them from getting it. But I tell you what it did do. She was totally convinced that after drinking that, we tried everything else. When she added that Limu, that she was drinking an orange juice glass by the time. She wasn't drinking at 4 ounces or a 2 ounce shot. She just got a bottle and kept it in the bed because it was feeling better. She'd been in bed for weeks, and all at once, within 3 days, I don't know if that happened. All I can tell you is that when she started that Limu, it changed. Why did I bring up this though? You can't learn. Our company's so diversified. Stick what gets them in the door. Now that person who just asked you about MOA knows some things about MOA, but they probably started with Renew. I don't know what they started with, but the point we make is there's so much. Then the Tommy, thanks again. And that's the way you've got to build this business. I know
Thank you.
in the early stages, I try to talk about everything. I want to cure everybody of everything. Get them started on something that can feel the difference, and they'll learn on Saturday. They've just now heard Linda, and we've talked about Renew. We've talked about MOA. She's also using Noni. What's the point? Don't start that way. They started with what? All Linda was willing to do 3.5 years ago, didn't want to. She's mad because Tommy's making her. Fact, I'm just calling you out. And she just drinks 2 bowls a day. And now look at their health changes. So guys, keep it simple and go with that. Tommy and Linda, thank y'all for being willing to share. We're going to want you to share in Orlando and Destin if y'all are there. So guys, we'll talk some more
Hey,
later.
Chris.
Yes.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
The other day when we was going to therapy, which we know the therapist and everybody that's coming in there. So I asked her if I could bring some drinks up there, and she said, yeah. So I took 2 Burns and 2 Frogs, and they had some little cups, about 2 ounces. And I shared with everybody in there, patients, therapists, everybody in there, and possibly may get some customers and maybe get a rep off of it. So hopefully.
And Linda, look how famous you are. You're on the poster there. You're on the slide, your picture. You're helping a lot of people.
She
I
knows
saw
she's done that for a long time. That's great. And that's what you do. You share, continually share. So guys, I'm gonna kind of turn this to Coach Palmer because we actually only have about 15 minutes left, but I want to talk about so many things that are coming. We've already talked about the events, but guys, if you haven't looked in your app lately, literally they are being upgraded. If you don't know how to upgrade it, open your app and pull down on the screen. You'll see the little spinning thing at the top. We've got Renew PDFs in there now. There is so many tools coming. There's so much happening with the company. I don't even know what to say. We were a stagnant place that we're now. Our IT department has been upgraded. I mean, I don't even know how this. Ken Bay, I see just nodding like crazy because he's an IT guy. If y'all don't know Ken's background, it's computers, and man, that ain't for me. I'm learning what apps do and learning how. I always call Anthony. Anthony built that PowerPoint this morning because I didn't know how to do that. So that's just how techy I am. But I'll tell you this, that app is now getting so many things. So Coach, I want you to talk about, if you don't mind, the things that are coming and the momentum that's coming. If you have someone you want to have talk about, but I mean, I want to give this to you for a minute about just what I think is exciting times. And I was saying I couldn't sleep. That's why I can't sleep, because I know so many things are changing so fast. So Coach, I'm going to turn it to you on that.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. And Ken might want to jump in here too. I'll say this. I felt it almost a stir in October. So if y'all remember back in October, like we went into corporate, like with the owners, like when they first took over, we went in and looked, and I just felt a stirring, like, man, there's something. And I see David Ferguson on. Hey, buddy, how are you doing, David? I see him on this morning. I remember being in Arkansas with him when the owners come and we launched the Catalyst Club. And everybody kind of looked at us strange, like, what is that? By the way, the Catalyst Club, one of the most successful promotions that I believe I've ever been a part of in network marketing. If you really want to know what kind of promotion that was, we put in thousands and thousands of new brand partners all over the country. So that's how big of a promotion it was. In North America, we rocked the entire company. Like we were we brought the masses on the Catalyst Club. So I share that, Chris, to say we've been seeing this stirring, feeling this stirring, and in January, I'm like, I'm really going to get serious about being a product of the product. And I'm going to answer your question as we talk about what you just said. And the first thing you got to do when you realize that the company's at a special place, I believe you got to really take a look at the physical side of you, because that's what the world will see you through. What's Ken Bailey doing right now when he goes to church? Like, what they look at? Is he a product of the product? Does he look like he's making a difference in his life? Like, and so I said, I got to do that. I was 30 pounds heavier in January. I'm proud to say this week, not bragging on me, it's our products. I'm down 30 pounds. I'm down to a weight that I was in like years ago, feeling great. Because I knew I had to do something physically to myself so the world around me could see it too. Not only is it good for me, but I'm a product of the product. It speaks for itself. And then the other thing was my mental side. I'm like, I got to really mentally get into the game right now. So we went to corporate. I got on the phone with the owners. I started plugging into all the calls. I will not miss an event. Will not miss an event. Like, I'm going to get to the events. I got to find a way. Because what happens when that happens is the belief goes to a different level. And when your belief goes to a different level in this industry, you want to share this. You can't hide it anymore. You can't suppress it. You got to tell people. I mean, I'm looking, David, at you right now because you're in the middle of my screen. David Ferguson, when you're excited, remember those times when you were excited, like you can't hide it. You got to share it. And so that's where I was at. And today I'm at that place. So I challenge everybody to, man, be a product of the product. You heard Linda and Tommy talk about it. Like, focus on a product. For me right now, it's Renew. I take Renew twice a day. I take it 30 minutes before I go to bed. It's the first thing I take when I get up. Obviously, I take my Moa and I take my Limu. And I'm up at 4:30 in the morning going to the gym now. I'm 47, but I'm healthier today than when I was in my 30s, without a doubt, because of our products. But my mental game is turned on now. I challenge you, like, get there. Your belief goes up, you will share this thing like never before, and it is the perfect time to share. And going back to Chris's question, we hired a guy recently. The owners hired a guy. His name's Mark Patterson. I've known Mark for years and years and years. Mark's a veteran in the industry. He's just one of our executives that's on board right now. Chris, we'll have to get him on a call one day, get him on the. Mark understands tools, how important tools are for distributors. He understands videos. He understands, he's been a part of companies as they've been in momentum growing, and he's helped prevail put the companies in momentum. He's here right now. He picked us. He could have picked any company in the industry. Here's what Mark Patterson says. You guys have the best story in the industry. Just so you know, guys, our industry is in a little bit of a unique place. There's a lot of companies figuring out ways that they could come inside of another company. They can, you got small companies. It's like, you know what, our sales are not where they need to be. We want to kind of merge in with other things. And then you got our company, brand new name, partner co that says, hey, we want to take you from where you're at. We want to partner with you to where you want to go. We've already got the infrastructure. We're already in 60 plus countries. We've already got the product portfolio that all of you know works. Our R&D team is developing new every day. Deanna Latson just talked about that. We're bringing new experienced executives on board that have grown big and large companies. We're bringing them on board with us to produce. Chris talked about the share out. Go check it out. The Partner Co share out right now. You're going to see new materials in there. This is just the start. We're in the launch year. 2023 is the launch year for our company. What does that mean? There's going to be presents that we're unwrapping all of 2023. You know, a lot of you received emails yesterday of the company congratulating you on Catalyst Club, letting you know. How many of you got your email? Maybe put it in the comments, you know, letting you know what's coming, what you're going to get, special treatment at events you're going to get. Guys, this is something that is just for you. You should look at all these little pieces. New videos getting created. Todd Rowland just laid out new videos. We've got new videos coming in just a few weeks that we'll be rolling out to the field. Just look at all this and go, man, I see all this happening. I see all these new things coming. We just announced the name of our new company. Executives from other companies are coming to our company going, we want to be a part of you. Let that be a signal that now's the time. Not because I'm sitting here hyping up the call, but it is our job as leaders to let you know and ring the cattle bell that dinner's coming. Dinner's here. Like it's time to eat, you know? And so many people need that wake up because they're not plugged in. They don't know what it is. And it's up to us to get them plugged in, to get them tuned in. That's why Chris Doyle is having a Super Saturday in Jackson, Tennessee. This guy's made millions of dollars in the industry, millions. That's why Ken Bailey, hey, Ken likes money too, just so everybody knows. Ken Bailey is having an event in North Carolina because he's ringing the cattle bell to his team, saying it's time to eat. What are you doing where you're at? What kind of bell are you ringing to your team, to your area, to your group? Because I promise you, you set an event, all you got to do is ask, people will come. Chris, that to me is the time. Like we're going to see more and more people come to our company, not just from distributors, but from other parts of the industry coming here because we have the most beautiful storyline right now.
Absolutely.
So of our owners and things, also onboarding app is coming. I mean, onboarding training. I just actually saw that this week. It hadn't been, I don't think it's been pushed out yet, but when a new brand partner enrolls, we're going to have an onboarding situation that will show the owners, their story, who they are, how for a person to create their list, what do they want out of this. A beautiful onboarding training is coming very soon. And you're going to see more of these rollouts in this 2023 launch year of our company.
Well, I'm so pumped up about the tools coming, Brent, and you and I both know, and Ken as well, we all know that tools are everything. And when a company gets the right tools in place, and we've been waiting on it, and I don't mean that in any disrespect to the other IT, but we've been in a turmoil there. And man, IT has made, I know Ken's worked with it. I see, so I can even put a rep in now. And I'm telling you, I'm really untech. I put reps in with no problem now. But those are just little things. But guys, it's just a tip of the iceberg of what you're going to see. Brent said, 2023. It ain't going to happen in 30 days. You're going to see stuff coming in monthly, and you'll see things happening in 6 months. But over the next year, you're going to see some amazing things happening. So guys, Anthony's bringing us up something we don't even know about. I must speak from the onboarding process. Is that true? Anthony, you know, it's okay to unmute. He didn't have what this is, but I'm assuming that's from anyway. Guys.
Chris, can I say a couple quick things?
Absolutely.
along the lines of what Brent was saying real quickly. By the way, I spent 45 minutes with the IT people yesterday, and we even got a couple more improvements on the enrollment. You're going to see it get better and better week after week until it's perfect. But anyway, this time in our company's history will never come again, folks. I mean, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, it may be the best opportunity in the world. But the timing that we have now will never happen again. And the reason that story is so unique, Chris, and you know, some of you have heard me say this, but we all know it's the early bird that gets the worm. That's true. But always remember, it's the second mouse that gets the cheese. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Typically with a company, when a startup company is getting started, they got to get everything in place. People come and go, start and quit, start and quit, start and quit. Then everything gets in place and the second mouse comes along and it explodes for them. Well, for the first time ever, Brent, Chris, we are the early birds and the second mouse. Okay, it's brand new. We're just starting, but everything's in place. We don't have to wait for everything. So it really is a unique story. And I just urge people to take advantage of what you're now blessed to know about, because you will not have the same it'll be a great opportunity in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, but it'll never be as good as it is right now.
I agree with that. One thing I'm going to add that most of you realize, Dr. Crystal is normally with us and Todd Rowland on Saturday mornings. What it means that they're not here today. It means that they've got trainings. They're in other meetings right now. And when that kind of thing happens, you're going to see this not be all 5 of us here on every Saturday. Now, last Saturday, mine wasn't a meeting. My grandson showed up without unexpectedly, and he wanted his pop to cook for him. So that's why I wasn't here. It's the first one I've missed in months and months. But here's the thing. They're gone, not because they're on vacation. They're gone because they got meetings today. And they got events going on. Guys, you're going to see this going on and more. And we'll always have these Zooms. We're going to do our best to get you somebody here to get plugged in, keep plugged in, start your event. It doesn't have to be 100. Destin will have hundreds. But the first Destin event, we didn't need a big room. Matter of fact, I think we ended up putting a few tables out to make it look like there was more people there. Now we'll be pushing chairs in and they'll be out in the halls. I'm just telling you, I've been here. This is what happens. Guys, have a great Saturday. Coach Palmer, again, thank you for being on. Any last words from you or Ken you want to add to it? I mean, I'm just excited for what we're going to see happen over the next 6 months.
I would just say be a glad I did, not a wish I had.
Yeah.
Don't be a year from now, 2 years from now. Boy, I wish I'd have listened. Be glad you did. I promise you.
All right, guys, have a great Saturday. Coach Palmer, thank you. Ken, thank you as well, always. Anthony, thanks for always being behind the scene, building the PowerPoints, running stuff, keeping things done together. Linda and Tommy, thank you for your presence, for yours, and all of you for being on here. Guys, being on means everything. Plugging in is what makes people survive. Simple as that. Keeps you in the game. Thanks for being on, guys. Have a great Saturday. Love you. Talk soon.
Love you guys. Grateful for you.
Thanks so much, folks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.